and the engagement party photos started appearing while I was still driving home from work. First one notification, then 6, then a slow flood, and my sister's hand lifted high with the ring catching light, champagne flutes clinking in a toast, and the whole extended family arranged on the restaurant patio like they'd rehearsed the pose. Everyone smiling the same careful, celebratory smile, and everyone except the one face that had never been invited to stand in the frame. I parked, scrolled through maybe 8 or 9 posts, and then locked the phone and went inside to heat up leftovers. No tears, no sudden rage, just the small, familiar click of something settling into place. And the next morning at 9:42 my mother texted, "We missed you last night. But you've always been the jealous one. We didn't want you making a scene. It was better this way." And no punctuation after the last sentence, as if it were obvious. I read it twice, then typed back, "Then you won't mind missing my wedding too." Sent. No emojis, and no follow-up explanation. Just the sentence and the quiet that followed. She didn't reply that day, or the next. The silence stretched clean across 2 weeks, and I kept moving. Work deadlines, grocery runs, early morning runs when the streets were still empty. I met my fiancé for lunch twice that week, and we talked about venue lighting and whether to have a first look. Normal things. Small forward things. The wedding invitations had gone out the previous month, and simple cream cardstock, handwritten addresses, 27 envelopes sealed and dropped at the post office on a Tuesday afternoon. My mother's name was not on any of them, and neither was my father's, my sister's, or any of the cousins who had posed so perfy at the engagement party. 3 weeks after my reply, and on a Thursday evening while I was folding laundry, my phone lit up with a photo from Aunt Lydia. No text. Just the image, and my wedding invitation held flat against her kitchen table, the envelope torn open beside it, the gold foil date clearly visible, and she had circled the RSVP deadline in red pen, the way she used to circle test answers when she tutored me in high school. I stared at the photo for a long minute, and then set the phone down and finished folding the towels. 47 minutes later the phone rang. "Mom," I answered on the 4th ring. "Hello," and her voice came through already unsteady. "Romaine, we got the invitation. From Lydia. She sent it to me." Why didn't we get one? The question cracked halfway. And we're your family. I sat on the edge of the couch. I invited the people who make me feel like family. A small, wet sound on her end. "That's not fair." And we were protecting the day. "Your sister's day. You've always." "I know what you think I've always been," I said quietly. "You've told me enough times," and silence stretched long enough that I could hear her breathing catch. "We would have come," she said finally. "We would have behaved. Maybe," I said. But I didn't want to spend my wedding wondering." Another pause. Then softer, "I'm sorry. I didn't think it would hurt like this. And I didn't say it was okay. I didn't say it wasn't. I just let the words Wes." "When is it?" she asked. "Next month, the 11th. "That's so soon, and it's been planned for a year." She started to cry then, quiet, uneven sobs that sounded older than I remembered her sounding. "Can we talk about this? In person? And please." I looked around the living room, the half-packed boxes of favors on the coffee table, the suit bag hanging on the closet door, and the stack of thank you notes I'd started writing early. Everything small and chosen. "No," I said, "not this time." The line went quiet except for her breathing, and "I love you," I added. Not because it fixed anything, just because it was still true. "But I'm not changing the guest list." She didn't argue after that, and just whispered something I couldn't quite catch, maybe my name, maybe goodbye, and hung up. The wedding happened on a clear Saturday in May. A garden behind a friend's house, late afternoon light slanting through the trees, 23 people who had each, at one point or another, shown up when no one else did, and we said the vows we'd written ourselves. We laughed when the ring bearer dropped the pillow, and the rings rolled under a chair. And we ate cake standing up because there weren't enough seats and no one minded. No speeches about family ties that had frayed. No toasts that skirted the truth, and photos stayed in a private album. No tags, no stories. Just ours. 2 days later a certified envelope arrived at the new apartment. My mother's handwriting on the front, and inside one sheet of stationery folded once. "I was wrong. I'm sorry. I hope you're happy." No signature flourish. No, "Love, Mom." Just those 3 lines in blue ink, and I read them standing in the kitchen. Then I folded the note again, and slid it into the drawer with the old birthday cards she used to send with $20 bills tucked inside, and closed the drawer. My husband came up behind me and rested his chin on my shoulder. "Everything okay?" I nodded. "Yes." We stood there a while and listening to the refrigerator hum and the distant sound of traffic outside. Nothing dramatic, just ordinary quiet. Later that week I texted Aunt Lydia back and thank you for the photo. And for coming. She replied almost immediately, wouldn't have missed it for anything. I smiled at the screen, small, real, and set the phone down. And the drawer with the note stayed closed. I didn't need to open it again to know what was inside. Some things you keep, and some things you finally let sit in the dark where they belong.